I'm a researcher on polarization, and I would like to focus on the role of media in polarization. And that's also about emotions and hate, but it has a little different. The focus is a little different. Um,
Yeah,
and I
that's
do
also
think
very important, of course.
yeah, and I do think that wars and conflicts, of course, are very important topics for this conference because they're very likely to disturb and disrupt democratic processes. And that's what we are here for, right? To talk about disruptions and how we can prevent that. The conflicts might divide societies into camps of supporters and opponents of, let's say, Ukraine or of Israel, but also think of less severe conflicts, such as domestic policy conflicts on taxes, COVID, or migration. They also have the potential to polarize society. And what's so bad about that? What's so bad about opposing opinions? And that's my starting point. Isn't that just pluralism? Not always. If there are distinct and strong opinions and there are strong feelings involved, a conflict can threaten democratic processes because it might develop into a standstill of discursive exchange. And that is needed for democratic opinion formation and decision making. Discourse is a prerequisite of democracy. So the exchange of opinions can take in person, but mostly it is via the media. And we have heard about agenda setting and framing 5 minutes ago. That's important. I would like to focus on the particular role of social media in this. How does mediated public communication drive or deepen conflicts? And how does it ease conflicts and bring people together? So both directions are perfectly possible. So I wouldn't be so pessimistic about the media systems contributing to better democracies. The thing is that media have been suspect of deepening conflicts, of turning democracies to less worse performance and so on. And that is alarming because media used to be regarded as infrastructure for democracies, bringing people together, helping people to form opinions, and so on. So the fact that that's not always the case anymore is already alarming. So why are we talking about the malfunctions of media? And this is not a very new topic. It is a very old one, and the discussion about the decline of political communication has started in the 90s by Blumler and Gurevich. And they identified 4 ages of political communication and showed how the democratic functions of communications deteriorated over time. In the 3rd age, that was just before the social media became popular, they already showed a strong decline. Intensified professionalization pressures, increased competitive pressures, anti-elitist populism, we already heard something about that. Centrifugal diversification, that's the first sign of polarization. And changes in how people receive politics. All that contributed to less democratic well-functioning. And that all makes it obvious that not everything was good before social media came about. But now we're in the 4th age, and that is the age of online communication and particular of social media. And all these malfunctionings became more pronounced. And now we have another problem, the linkage between social media and journalism, because people encounter news via personal networks now. And this brings in more emotions, and via the trust towards the like-minded peers that they are networked with, there's also more chances to change opinions through media content. So they encounter a mass media piece, some sort of report on whatever, let's say Israel, via friends, and that gives increases the chances of adapting their opinions in the direction of this media item. And this increases polarization, or the chances of polarization. But so far, there is not much evidence of polarization in many countries. At least in Germany, there is little evidence of polarization, and there is little evidence of polarization through social media, although it has the potential. So why worry? Why worry if there is little evidence of polarization right now? Because things can change, and because it's completely different in other countries. Let's just think of the red and blue media communities in the US. So we have to be cautious and watch very closely what is happening in other countries, and how the increasing ideological gaps can be prevented if that's the case. The ideological gaps, that is what is referred to as ideological polarization. And as I said, there's little evidence of ideological polarization via social media, but that can still pick up. There is more evidence of affective polarization, and affective polarization is an emotional rejection of an out-group through the in-group. So this is we and this is them. And there's a lot of hate involved and devaluation, and basically it's all about the rejection of the out-group. Social media fosters this rejection through its affordances, because it relies on emotions, it relies on outrage, because this is how people are kept on the platform. So that's the business model in a way. In network publics, the in-group is more likely to come into being, because that's how they find like-minded peers and form a camp which is likely to reject other camps. So the emotional rejection of a group, and this is what affective polarization is all about, that indicates a lack of willingness to compromise on political issues. It makes discourse across opinion camps more difficult. But this is how democracy works. We need discourse across opinion camps. We have to interact, we have to compromise and find solutions. And this is also a way how to integrate society, and without integration, there is no stable foundation of democratic societies. Now, if things are lost already, how do we depolarize society if we are already split up into opposing camps? Of course, media education and media competence help a lot, especially if disinformation is the cause of polarization or other sorts of malfunctioning. We heard about disinformation. But sometimes a society polarizes even without disinformation. Opinions just move away from each other. So what can we do, and what does research tell us about possible ways out of that? There's a lot of research on the effects of moderation in discourses, of human moderation or bot algorithm moderation. But the findings of moderation, it's a little optimistic, but it's not clear. And it depends very much on the type of moderation. The findings on cross-cutting opinion presentation are also very inconclusive. We yet don't know under which conditions someone changes his or her opinion. Sometimes the presentation of opposing opinions drives people even more towards the extremes of a spectrum, let's say left-right spectrum. And we don't know when that happens and when different opinions help. So what do we do? There is so little research so far on the effects of polarization and on ways to depolarize societies that I would recommend try it out. We have to collect more best practice examples, to make more experiences on ways to depolarize discourses, because that's the only way to go. We can't just accept it. We have to prevent further disintegration because that threatens democratic decision making. So far, thank you.